We live. Another big topic. Thanks for the guests. Like always, we come up with these topics just to discuss some of these questions that we have to be able to look back and analyze everything related to us, our position in the world, how we move forward. And so tonight we have a really big topic. This is we're gonna look at this from different angles, and we're gonna look and start with a discussion with our first topic, which is why are some Africans so attached to their ancestral days? We hear statements such as "Let's go back to ancestral way of life," and you hear this from multiple angles. Sometimes even young Africans who make this statement. Sometimes people in the religious sector. Sometimes even politicians. Sometimes people that know more about history than I do will make this statement. Well, let's go back to our way of life. So I don't know how far we are going back. What century are we going back? Is it dynastic period, pre-dynastic period? I don't know how far I want to go. And when we do go back, what is it that we actually going to get that is going to be useful in 21st century? I don't know. I'm just asking these questions. So panel, what do you guys think about these questions? Why some of us so attached to
Mm.
to going back and trying to retrieve. So I don't know what is it. I mean, I don't know. It's like help me out.
Right. So if I can take this, then I think this is a very Herculean task to delve into,
Mm,
trying to actually make some contributions to that question. Now,
mm-hmm,
the only moment that somebody will want to pause a second and say, I'm going to go back is relative and dependent on so many factors. So
mm-hmm,
the key thing
Good
is
point.
something preventing you from proceeding from where you are before you start thinking of going back.
mm,
So the only time
Good
I will
point.
make a U-turn is when the road leading me is coming to an end. But if I can see clearly the road in
Great
front of
points.
me and I know I'm going where I want to go, no doubt I'm going to follow through.
hmm,
Now, that's one aspect. The other aspect is just like, let me use the scenario of a soldier going for war. The only time a soldier will retreat is when he has to go and re strategize. Why do we
mm-hmm,
re strategize? Because the enemy seems to be overpowering us. We seem to
mm-hmm,
be losing the battle. So
Good
we have
point.
to go back, look at what we did not put in our back or our backsacks that is not helping us win the war. So we go back, re strategize, regroup, and see if we can come back to
Great
the battle.
points.
So indeed, we can go back, but how far back are we going? And to what extent is that going back going to bring us
Good point.
forward to? So I believe in going to search for some facts for educational purposes, going to search for some things that you never had the opportunity to know or even live before
Great
your
point.
ancestors left the scene. And for you to just align yourself to the race where you belong and accept certain facts that, oh, okay, so this is how it was lived then. But you can literally not dump what you have been brought up into now, which is the state of the 21st century now, and saying, let me use the word, I'm going to live in a primitive lifestyle. You will be cut off. You
Good
won't
point.
survive it. It's just fighting a lost battle. So
even if
for
you take
me,
iPhone with you.
well, let's imagine, I don't know whether you have noticed this, but you take iPhone from the West or Europe to Ghana. or Africa, I give you 6 months, right? It attracts so much dust that even your charging ports don't work no more like it used to work, right? So that tells you
Good point.
that in no time, that iPhone is going to lose its full functionality. And when you are out of battery and juice, you're dead, man. You are dead.
You
So
can
for
connect it to
me,
spirit.
well, God help you, right? So for me, going back is is something not of the entire physical, but it's more to do with soul searching, fact finding, to propel you or to equip you understand that you are
Good
fighting
point.
an almost lost battle, but you can only re-strategize and get some points along the way. But you got to keep moving on, not going back. That's my take.
Mm, you must said it. What do you guys think? Ajia, what do you think?
Aja, go first.
Yeah. So when you tell me we need to go back, you have to tell me how far back do I need to go? Because I don't know how far back
Great
you
points.
need me to go. I don't know what you want. You have to tell me how far back you need me to go. You have to tell me what you want me to find. Because these days, especially Africa, we don't know how far back we come from. When there is this thing called the ancestry, whatever when you do that, they tell you they tell you all this genetic country that you belong to.
Good point.
How far? Like how far do you want me to go? Let tell me what you want me to find.
Aja, have you done one?
No, let me know what let me know how far do you want me to go, and what did you left there that you need me to go find? Like what did you do in your time that you want me to go find? Because even like these days in my daughter, I was talking about CD player. She doesn't know what CD player is. Like I go Google what CD player
Great points.
is to go to find it. So what you want me to go Google and find what you left there for me to find? I don't know. Like I don't know.
What do you think?
Well,
Why are they so? Why are they saying that? No, some Africans saying, okay, we need to go back. So why? Like, what are the reasons why they're saying we need to?
well,
In a way.
well, I don't know what their reasons are. I I don't have, to not sound, you know, snobbish. I don't know what is in the past that I'm gonna go fetch, right? Like I
Mhm.
just said. So like, and almost like what, Emmanuel said, it's probably relative,
Great
right?
points.
It's relative in the sense that imagine if your ancestry told you that you were part of some powerful dynasty, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you want to retrace your steps, right, to go get some of that, heritage back somehow. But if your history doesn't go far enough for you to think there's something valuable,
Good
right,
point.
then why are
Mhm.
you going back? Even the Edinkra symbol, Sankofa, right?
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
reason why they say Sankofa, they're saying like basically, like if I'm translating it loosely, right?
Mhm.
What is like what you left behind that is
Yep.
valuable.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
not a taboo to go back and go and get it,
And call it.
right?
Yep.
Right. So if you left something useless, then what's the point in retracing your steps, right?
Mhm.
So I guess it's a matter of what the person heard that they used to have, right? And maybe they're yearning for
Mhm.
that. But I say that, you know,
Great
retracing your
points.
steps, right? Retracing your steps to go get something that you might never find, right? To me, it's
Mhm.
a waste of time when you can actually advance forward. The world is not waiting, right?
Good
The world
point.
is not waiting for anyone. Now it's people are sprinting forward. You are doing a backward dance. Good luck.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Right. I think I'm gonna ask a question, though I'm not a host. Based on
Go
what
ahead.
Eric just said, um, how do we pass on history to our children if we don't go back, as in Sankofa? How
Um,
do we pass on history? So
well,
must we just leave it as it is and move
no,
on?
no, I don't think
Great
that is
points.
valuable. It's a good question, but I don't think that's the way to go about it, right? Um, history is funny, right? History is funny in the sense that, like, if you don't know, if okay, if your parents didn't tell you
Mhm.
where you came from, then where are you going to start from, right? All you
Mhm.
know is you were born in
Good
this,
point.
like, okay, for example, you were born in Tema, right? If your parents forgot to tell you what villages they came from before, like their lineage comes from, before they moved to Tema where you were born, all you know is Tema, right? So when it comes to you teaching your kids your history, Tema is the last stop,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Unless you
Mhm.
have some relative who is still alive that you can probe. But if they were also disconnected, imagine if generations, like,
Great points.
let's say you being born in Tema, you were not your parents, like you were not like the first generation from your line born there, right? What if your parents were born there, your parents' parents were born there, right? There's so much disconnect that you can go back all you want. Maybe the last of your community one, and that's it.
Yeah. There's you might like so I'll answer your question and then I'll put my submission to this question. You know, one of my heroes said, "What if you people without history, whatever, it's difficult to find the future, move to the past, find the future." But the thing also too is like what. So history is important to the sense of if maybe you need um, you need a sense of who you were, what your capabilities, the lineage you come from. You don't really have to know history for you to function in a modern world, right? So whatever information you are going to retrieve, because it's so vast, it has to be useful and applicable. What is it that you want to know? And I think this generation of black people, 21st century black people, should try to ravel when we go back into several years, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, we should we should try to ravel those accomplishments. So then the history start with this generation, what we did. Because if this generation is not doing anything, it doesn't matter what the thousands of years generation did. It's irrelevant. There's nothing you going there's nothing you can pick from there that is going to be competitive to how other groups are moving. It's just not, I don't see it. And so we indulge in this ancestry glory days because I think we are finding ourselves in a world that we don't call the shots, we don't control anything, and we don't know whether we can compete now or because if you are competing, because other people have history too, other groups have history too, none of them is saying they want to go back. I've not heard it. They honor their history, but they're not trying to live like the 1400s or 1300s. Nobody is saying that. It's only us that we are fascinated with this past stuff. And I think because, like Yima said in the beginning, is because we find ourselves in a roadblock and we don't know what we want to do. Another thing too, historically, if you look, especially when the men that are promoting that we should go back to history, in which the men control everything, in all these African cultures, as far as I know, has no respect for the voice of children or teenagers, and women to some extent. And so you come in a modern world that you go to other places, the children's minds are respected and encouraged and nourished. And so it looks like our elders have lost the way. The genie is out of the box. They can't control it. So they want to go back to the time that they actually can use these myths and use the cultures for suppression. But now the new generation is looking at the elders now and say, listen, there's nothing we want to go back to you, because we look at you guys, and you guys are not leading by the example. And so miss me with that, with some ancestry stuff, because the chieftaincy is what is it? Where does the chieftaincy comes from? The ancestry days. Is the chieftaincy relevant now? We can debate that too as well, because of so we are looking at things now, and I think we are at the crossroad that we have to decide. We're in a world that, unfortunately, and I've said this, if all black people should disappear right now, I think the world could adjust. They will adjust. They'll figure it out. We don't control an industry that is for survival. They still have their medicine. They still have their techs. They'll still be able. They still have. They know how to pull resources from the ground. The world can move on. At a certain point in the world, when black people disappeared, the world went under with that. And so it's just we are romanticizing this notion, because it's just like we abraboni the awesome year 20 nam ho pa. And so and so that's what we at. We have to deal with the reality. So I think even when I go back and look at history, I'm picking up a few things that is relevant. I'm not trying to have all these things, because I can't apply it. I can't apply a lot of it right now in 21st century, when information is changing month to month, week to week. Things are changing. I don't know what 308 BC or 700 BC is going to do anything in regards. That's my submission.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think?
And
Oh,
Tony,
sorry,
oh,
Ajay, go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, Tony, I want to add that when they said that you have to know your history to move forward, in a sense of when you know your history, you know your background, you know where you're coming from. If you're when you get successful, then you know where
Good
to look
point.
and where to
Mhm.
go. Just like we're doing here on Abrabo, is we're looking back to Ghana, but to do something positive, to make some change, or to bring
Mhm.
up some change, not to go
Mhm.
back
Good
in a
point.
history and go find something that isn't there. Go to looking for some kind of mirage that is not there. So when we look back to this, it's like we want to go back home, and we're trying to bring some change and see what needs to be done to move forward,
Mhm.
not to um not to go looking for whatever is there back there.
Now, what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so the reason why some Africans are attached to the ancestral days, uh, here's the reason. We we've always not been slaves. We've always not been the oppressed. That is
Mhm.
not that is not
Great
us.
points.
We've always not been that.
Mhm.
Before slavery, before colonization, before Berlin Conference, we were we I don't want to use the word kings and queens, but I mean there was civilization in Africa. Let me say okay. So there was a disruption, okay,
Mhm.
which stripped us of our dignity. That is that I'm trying to
Great points.
summarize, what I'm trying to say. So
Mhm.
I understand if people have to be reminded that you're not a slave that you think you've not always been a slave. Your ancestors has always not been slaves.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, because you look at medicine. Medicine started in Africa. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
medicine started in Africa. Mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, started in Africa. Okay, these are facts. Okay, so we've not always not been these people where people think that we are inferior. We are not. Okay, as you just said, once upon a time when you took blacks away from the planet, you missed something. So people need to be reminded. We need to remind our children that your kinky hair is not inferior.
Good point.
So that is so I understand those who run with that sentiment, you know, and it's important that most of us know that because there's a lot of us who don't think highly of ourselves. There's a lot of black
Mm-hmm.
people who don't think highly of themselves. I mean, people go to the stream of the extent of saying kings and queens. I don't
Great
subscribe to
points.
that. Okay, I don't subscribe to kings and queens. I don't want to
But
flatter
we are
myself.
kings and queens.
I don't want to flatter myself. But I
But
really want I want I
if we're
want
kings, if even if we're not kings and queens, and we say we're royalty, right?
mhm.
That means there were slaves.
Right.
Were they
Okay.
white?
So
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 what if my ancestry is that I was, you know, the joker in the king's palace? Is that something I want to go and fetch?
Go back and joke.
Good
no.
point.
I'm trying to see. I don't want us to put aside those who are saying, you know what, it's okay. When we call ourselves kings and queens, okay, in a sense, there's nothing wrong with it. But I just don't want to fool myself. Just
But
kings and queens.
are you I think sometimes like okay,
So
so
my submission is this is my submission. The
okay.
ancestral days is beyond when we go back, is beyond the slavery days. Okay.
So that's how
There's
far
some
you
great
taking it.
there
Okay.
are some
All right.
great things that we can pick from slavery.
Like
Okay.
what?
Rather let's go okay. The mighty empires, the Songhai Empire. Okay. Let's go for those things and leave the non beneficial things that is we just say to flatter ourselves like kings and queens to put a dead lion on your shoulder. I mean, I don't know what that's going to do for you. You know, I mean, so
Fired.
I mean, but look,
Shots
we've
fired.
always not been this failures. We've always not been, NIGG. Yeah, we are not. I don't want to say the word. We are not what people think we are. Okay. Yes, we are behind when it comes to when it comes to industrialization. We are behind when it comes to technology. We are behind. Um, and sometimes it's sad. And I was talking to you during the week, and I said our problems is leadership. Okay, it's leadership. We need good leadership when it comes to Black people. We need good leaders in the community, in our countries. That is what we lack. We lack, as a people.
Let's push this to
Right.
let's do a because
Nanayo,
Nanaya say something.
Nanayo, can I this real quick? Do you think, on your last statement, do you think that was self-imposed on us?
What's that?
Is that
What?
why, like, we persistently want to go back and look into things? Do you think, like, us not being at par with technology, us not being at par with development in the 21st century, do you think this was self-imposed on us?
We see slavery and colonization did a lot of bad things to us. It made us.
Right.
It made us. It changed us. So
Good point.
this is slavery. Let's look at what slavery did to us. It took some of the best, the strong, okay, from our society and shipped them to another place to go build that place. Okay, I mean, so that did a lot to us as a people, and then they colonized us. Okay, they took away what we have, gave us what they will give us. So our system, our political system, the bourgeoisie system, the European system, where where the white man lives in the palace, a castle, drives in the best car, you know, and then and the villagers just live in the village, and don't they don't live, their living standards are poorer, far poorer than the white man. Now, when the white man left, that's what he left for us. We've
Yeah,
copied
but
this.
the chieftaincy was also like that though. The chiefs
Right.
had they have the same luxury,
Well, let me finish.
in
So
all
I'm
that
talking about the
stuff.
political
Yeah.
system. I mean, we could have said, say, the part if we didn't copy what the white people left us, and so we're going to make everybody equal. We're all going to live in nice houses. Every child will go to a nice school, just like the president's daughter or son.
But that
But
was
we
not
didn't do
though.
that,
No, but
huh?
that
It
was
didn't.
not the way we
No,
lived
I'm
Yeah,
before
answering.
it didn't
I'm
used to be like
answering.
that.
I'm
pre-colonial or
answering.
pre-slavery. Yeah, but
Jose,
No, but
I'm
Nanaya,
answering.
if we were saying, if we're talking about equality, equality didn't
it was
it
not
didn't
like that.
it was not like that. It didn't
No, no,
exist in
no.
Africa before the white man came. We were
I'm
not
saying
equal.
that. I'm saying that we copied a system from the white man's way of leadership,
You mean political system?
our
Yeah.
political
So
system,
there's a political system. So, but the
a
social
political
system.
system, a political system where the president and the president and his ministers enjoy and have so much, and the people don't have that much.
But that's
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
that
trying to
used to
say.
be like that though. It used to be
It used to be
maybe
like
not maybe not at the magnitude like where you like people are blatantly stealing, but royalty. What is royalty?
no,
The word
but
the
listen,
word royalty says that someone is at
Okay.
a higher level than
you know
someone
how
else,
bad it is.
right?
You know how
A
bad it
king
is.
and that's why they say a
We
king
will
and
never
his
know.
subjects, right?
No,
So so we
you don't no, but you know how bad it is. Okay, so there was never equality. I understand, but now we have it in the books that when these people after 4 years they get ex gratia, so much amount
okay.
of
So
money,
no,
and they
no.
take
Okay.
away
We're gonna
property.
we.
No,
All
no,
right.
no,
Let's
no.
stick
I'm
to it.
answering Iman's question. I'm answering Iman's question.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
he said,
But we
you
want to
see,
stay on topic. The viewers say
no,
we
we're
should stay
saying
on
that
topic sometimes.
no, we say that is leadership, and so
Hmm.
the bad leadership style that we copied. It has I mean, it has gone into our society. That's what it is. So if it's everywhere, anybody goes into any position, they have to squander money to the
Okay.
detriment of the
Let's
society.
let's
So
continue with this question, which we can take it. You can continue. You can build up of. So this is a quote. Those who romanticize in their past glories may have perhaps become irrelevant in the present. Is there some truth
Hmm.
to it that if you are relevant now, the other groups have also dealt with some level of slavery, some level of violence, and stuff like that. But the point is that if you are relevant now, like if all of us are accomplishing what we need to accomplish, it doesn't matter what our great great grandfather did because we are in control. Our dreams, we are, we are creating a better life. We are accomplishing more than they did. We are people of influence and all that stuff. Then it wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't matter because there's no reason to to look back and wish that was the good old days because your life has a meaning and you accomplish that. Is there truth to that? Or the other way could be if it's not happening, then obviously you want to either reflect and rely on your past or the past of your race when they were at their greatest achievement.
To me, I don't call
Okay.
I
that
So
don't
I don't call that
honestly. I
reflection.
don't.
I don't call that reflection. I
Uh,
call that dream. I call that dreaming.
dreaming. Okay.
Right? Because if you reflect, right?
Correct.
To me, a reflection is getting some insight from the past to use today. But if you're
Yeah.
gonna use it to
Good
just
point.
brag, oh, they used to. What are you doing today? If you're not like tying the two together, to me, it's a dream. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
points.
Yeah. And I think this question came about is it is not like I understand people who call themselves kings and queens. That's fine. But is are you a king and a queen right now? That's the
Oh,
thing.
I'm a king.
You
My
know.
house.
And so for me,
I'm a king.
the present is all that it is. The present all that it
You're
is.
still paying mortgage and tax.
I'm still a king.
Texas kid.
Shots fired!
You know.
Shots
And
fired!
so I think that we do that. You know, we do that. Yes, the history component, but also we do that because we've lost something. We have lost something, and maybe we think the only way we get it back if we go prior to our encounter with the Europeans. Um, and every generation, I think every generation should be the best of its people. 21st century blacks should be the best blacks that have ever existed. That should be the challenge. We shouldn't have 700, 711 AD when the Africans ruled Spain, Portugal, and part of France. We shouldn't have that. Or Egyptian times when they built these pyramids, and brought mathematics, navigation, science, medicine, and all those things copied by the Greeks and Romans and that kind of stuff. These 21st century blacks should be should be the finest, so that our kids can say the 21st century blacks were the greatest achievers. But if we want to go back, that's a cop out for me. If we want to go
Well,
back and rely on
Tony,
somebody's glory,
is
that
there
means
an
we're not
attempt
cutting
to
it.
is that an attempt to go back though? Is there a
Oh, it is
problem
some
of
attempt.
going
No,
back
is
though?
that what? Okay, let me ask you. What can you go back and bring, and it will be relevant and competitive 21st century?
No, no,
What
I'm
can you
saying
bring
that
from there?
is there an attempt? Is that attempt? Is that a problem right now where people are going back to the
Oh,
past
some
glories?
people, it's like people. You said you heard it. We are kings and queens. You heard that, and you also heard it. Some people say, and you'll be watching the videos. We're gonna go back to the ancestors' days when there is this, when there is that, when we did this, when we did that. But the issue is this thing: the winners in history get to dictate the rules. The losers in anything don't call the shot. So even if we could go back, guarantee you have other people that are highly competitive, who have structured the world that we find ourselves in, and they're not going to let you to bring the Sangha Empire. They're not going to let you do that because you are not in any position to detect anything. So we have to be competing and try to win. So when we win, we can decide how far we want to go back, what we want to bring, and what we want to do. But going back to bring anything, I don't know what it is that you're going to go bring back. I really don't know. That is going to be relevant. I mean, maybe we can go back and get some space technology or something. But if you go, I don't know what else you're gonna bring back. You know, what is it that we can bring back? That'll be competitive today, right now. I just don't know. And so when we say we go back, plus it is impossible to do it. It's really impossible to do it. So forget about it. Let's create the finest black people of the generation ever existed, 21st century black. That is what we need to do and be competitive. We're the one that rescue.
So those who are saying let's we're kings and queens. I don't see that as a problem. So I'm not seeing any movement of sending us back to the 1930s. You know, 19. I mean, sorry, 1830s. 14. I don't see I don't see any group saying that we should go back to those things because if there's a group, I'm not going to take them seriously. You understand what I'm saying? Um, so to me, I think we rather go forward than back. And if somebody says kings and queens, just to flatter themselves, you know, uh, I don't see that as a problem, though. Honestly, is it a problem?
I no, I
Well,
honestly,
Ude
you see,
kwa himfie nego kasa yo hene.
No, but I
Na
see.
undia uni akonya.
No, but you see, I don't think there's fundamentally anything wrong with saying that I come from a line, right, of royalty. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that. The problem I have, right, and which is why I keep bringing it up is if all you care about is what was instead of figuring out who you are and where you're going, then I think it's a waste of time, right? Like live, stop dreaming. You got what I'm
You
saying?
know
Like,
what?
yeah,
You
go
know
ahead.
what? You know what really is a problem right now? What is a problem right now is systems that we've allowed to stagnate our growth. That's what to me is a problem. The
Okay.
person calling himself kings and queens, I don't see it as a problem because, as you mentioned, chieftaincy. What is the relevance of chieftaincy right now? Than to carry somebody in a palanquin in this
But
day and age.
that's an old system pre the
I
Europeans coming
mean,
in. That's an
we
old
have
system.
cars. We have cars, and you carry the person in palanquin, and this person,
Well,
you don't.
They're trying to hold on to their heritage. Isn't that
What
what we're trying to go back
what
for?
what development? What development does it bring into the community? What chieftaincy system? What does it do? You understand? So, systems that we can actually dismantle that will help us. Why are we not focusing on technology? Industrial revolution. Why are we not? We are not interested in mechanized farming that we can easily do as a people to feed ourselves.
But okay, question for you, Nanaya.
I'm not digressing. I'm not digressing
No, you're
because
not. You're
you
not.
talked about.
But now I'm
I'm
going to
not
ask you a question
digressing.
on what you just said.
So I'm saying that rather focus on some systems that are really keeping us where we are. We need to look at what is going to actually propel us into success. And I'm saying that mechanized farming easily we can do that as a people. We can learn it, so that everybody can make a great grow a rice farm. With our own subsistence system, and a little bit of mechanized here, we can build our societies. So for me, I think that as a people, those are the things that we should look at. We are not doing that right now. We are not
Yeah.
doing that.
So
And these are
bit,
simple things that we can do.
bit of what you just said. So this question, right? And I'm going to explain to you why this question is relevant. You've seen the videos. Somebody will move a black person, or will move from somewhere in the world. They'll go to Africa. They'll find themselves in the bush with a little hat somewhere, and they're saying they're living like the ancestors. They're living with nature. You've seen those videos. I've seen them.
How many people? It's just three people, man.
You wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me tell my story. Wrap it up.
Man,
It's three
man,
people.
I've been missing out on stuff. You guys have nice things to
And
watch and you
and
don't share
you
with me.
see that? No, sometimes you got to read the comments.
No, but so
And
you guys,
and you see,
yes, you guys are watching like Hollywood videos and you don't share with me.
yeah, we'll send you that. and and
I
then
thought we were
and then
brethren.
my point is this. My point is this. Because sometimes it's not the speaker or the narrator
Mhm.
or the person or the content creator. Sometimes you
But,
read a comment to understand the mindset
but
of the
Tony,
people that are watching, right? And
but
sometimes
Tony,
this is what you see. When you go there, like for me personally, I don't think um there's certain things that I don't see any value in that, especially if I can close my eyes and duplicate the thing that I just saw. So when you have somebody goes over there and basically they find themselves in some forest somewhere with a summer hat, and they tie themselves with plantain leaves. I'm a little bit exaggerating with the plantain leaves.
I was gonna say, what have you guys been watching?
And they are in nature and they're in tune with the ancestry way of life. And you watch the comment and you say, listen, we are not serious. And we watch these things and you see the comment praising that. And I say, listen, instead, you said it. We'd rather go to Ghana. You know what I want to see? Somebody goes to the eastern region, take the whole eastern region, convert it to like cocoa farm or rice farm with tech, irrigation, 21st century irrigation, That is what I want to see. Something on the major scale that competitive. Okay, not
But
two little pond with catfish, two catfish in there,
That's how you
and
start.
then
You start from two, then they multiply. Tony, how many catfish do you want him to start with?
that's
A
what I was
million?
going to
catfish.
tell him. That's what I was
Baku
going to tell.
takura na baku ewu.
First of all, see, here's the thing. These are people that have been told over and over and over again that they're slaves. Their ancestors were slaves. Okay, so when we take them there, and then we take them into the bush, say, "Oh, you know what? Your ancestors were actually not slaves. Look at these lands. They own all these lands. There's nothing wrong with that."
No, the ancestors are not slaves. The ancestors were free. They were geniuses. The
Right,
ancestors later went into slavery.
right. You
The
have to
ancestors later
realize.
went to,
You
for a
have to
brief
realize.
period.
You have to
The
realize that
slavery.
you and I and Eric and Hajia and Ima, we don't need to hear that. We already know
No, no,
because
no. But I'm saying
we come
the
from
narration.
we come from the motherland. For them, their pilgrimage is an emotional one.
Yeah, but
You know,
the narration. What you tell yourself matters, right? What you tell yourself
but
matters.
but
They were
but the
not
but the
slaves.
but the
The
African
ancestors went through slavery, a brief period of your own existence, of black people's
no
existence. Sometimes
no
they went to a brief period of slavery,
you and I
right?
know that you and I know that when it comes to black people here in America, their history starts from slavery. They have the
No,
history
no,
books never went to Africa to tell
no,
them that
no.
they came
Their
from
history,
royals.
no, their history started from Africa. And then
No,
when
but
they got here, no. It depends how, like I said, the narration is important. Their history started from Africa. At a certain point, the ancestors went to slavery. The question is this, though. Here's the thing, even this slavery thing, you must understand.
the
Even in
African one
slavery
is
time,
always left out. The African one is always left out.
what do you mean the African one?
The part of the history which is from Africa was always left out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The narration is important, right? So what my grandfather went through is not me. And so when
But
you look at history,
what I'm saying is that they have to be reminded that they are not the history is not just slavery.
and
It's not just slavery.
that's why I'm starting from Africa. That's why I'm starting from. They were not slaves. The ancestors have gone to slavery at a brief point in their whole existence of human history when they gave the world its greatest civilization and foundation to everything. So you must understand how you tell a story. If you're telling yourself your ancestor came from slavery, that's something you're telling yourself, but that's not your real history. You've gone through. You can't start with your history in graduate school. You got to start from you know daycare, preschool, right?
No,
You got to start from that stuff.
but until African Americans started going to Ghana, Africa, wherever, when they start talking about their history, when they go to Alabama, Louisiana, and go to all these plantations, they can show you their home where their father was a slave in, or their mothers were slaves. I'm saying that their history started from slavery here in this country. So for them, for a trip to Africa is an emotional one, which
So
has to come with man. You are not just slaves, but you were
I,
royals.
Tony, I think Nanaya makes a point, right? Because
Right,
that was really the idea behind slavery, right? Strip
right,
them of what the value they had, right?
right.
So if you want to strip something of the value they had, you're not going to say we brought you from this good place. You're going to
no,
say
I'm saying. So the point I'm trying to make is the black experience. There were not African Americans. There were blacks that became African Americans. The same way they're not blacks that are Jamaicans. There were
Mhm.
blacks that became Jamaicans.
Mhm.
So it depends at what point in history. The same way when Europe talks about history, they start from where? They start from the Greeks. That's how they decided they want to start history. That is not human civilization history. They start from the Greeks because where? That's the foundation. From the Greeks, you go to the Romans. That is the European history. So if you want to talk about black people history, you can't start from a period where they went through a great tragedy, probably the greatest tragedy, And you can tell yourself that, but I'm saying
No,
that is not your whole
but
history.
no, we
No, they're
understand that,
not.
right? No, we
We under,
understand that. But what Nanaya is saying, Nanaya, let me help you here. What Nanaya is saying is that for a lot of people, right? If we twisting this question around and moving it from, like, the first question said Africans, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking about people who were born here, are from a line of slaves, right? Their lineage is just black slaves brought onto this land to work, to build this country, right? The history that they were told is you
Right.
are worthless, right? So that is what they know. I understand what you're saying. If you want to know, then it brings the Sankofa part in, right? Because if you know that they're telling me that, oh, my ancestry started from the cotton farms, right? But we were brought on a slave ship and then blah, 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 right? If you are intelligent enough and you're inquisitive enough, you try to go and see how your line is beyond the point that your master is telling you that we started from, right?
Right.
And if you are hungry for that truth, then I'll say go for it, right? Go for it. Figure out who you are. Go onto the land. And look, I say this, and I hear people say that, like, it used to be something that, I didn't like think about a lot, but it's true. When, especially when Kotoka, when it used to be that the plane lands on the tarmac and then you get out and walk,
Hmm.
there's this, there's this warmth that hugs
Yep.
you when you get out of the plane, right? And to me, it always reminded me of, like, oh, I'm in Ghana, like that feeling,
Yeah.
right? And for people who have never been to Africa to, like, do video interviews and stuff like that and mention that same feeling, to me there's something spiritual about it, right? Because they
Hmm.
say it feels like the atmosphere is hugging them.
Hmm.
They come from, some of these people come from temperate parts of the US, Texas, where there's heat and stuff like that, but they never say those things about Texas. I've never said that I walked out into a Texas street and felt hugged.
Because you
You
saw the
got
police. All right. So, Ajia, what do you have to say? So the popo.
I,
You start smiling, he's gonna arrest you.
so you frown and you turn around.
Ajia, what do you think about this?
so
And
for
then
me,
we're gonna go
I
ahead, Ajia.
I would like to romanticize past glory. If I was offered time traveling and go back and
How far how far you want to go? Because you go at a certain time, you will come back.
go a certain time way before slavery and claim
Okay.
who I am, and then be able to fix whatever that
Great
been
points.
stolen from us, whatever is been taken away, and then I have the time to come back and then stand up like the African queen that I am.
Hmm.
Then I would want to go back to that glory. But other than that, forget it.
You're
see,
21st century.
here's the thing. Have we even looked into, and I have we looked where is this chieftaincy? If it chieftaincy thing, where is it even coming from? What is the history of it?
Oh,
Okay.
long time. It goes thousands of
Yeah,
years.
but what I'm saying is that is there any merit to it? I believe there's some merit to it. Maybe we've messed it up in these modern times, but in the past,
No, man. Listen. I
it
know.
might be
Listen,
it might
we
have been
le- KBT.
very uh-huh.
You know,
So
when the Europeans write books, is
Mhm.
Eurocentric. You have some African scholars that are also Afrocentric, going so deep
Yeah.
because Europe is saying Africa didn't do anything, and the African scholars say Africa did everything. My thing is somewhere in the middle. There was some bad stuff within the culture, just because it's a fact of life. Nature is not perfect. There was something along the way. We pick up a lot of garbage too, right? But it's not like we were devoid. Listen, even the way we install a chiefs, we know what goes down. Let's
now
let's
see
let's let's
let me
answer
let me let me
Leslie's
say
question.
let me just piggyback on what you just said. Now, when I visited the Cape Coast Castle, and I said this several times, what the part that hit me the most was where there was a security post for the Europeans to guard the the castle. So it's just a small window, and when you look in that small window, you can see the ocean, and then you see either two other hills where those two other hills were also security posts. You know, um, it hit me over there like, wow, these people really came to conquer. Okay,
Well, that's
where
well,
were
well,
where were our men in those days? I'm saying this,
that's a whole
piggybacking on
different
what you're
topic.
saying. No, no, no.
Right?
Piggybacking on what you're saying, that you're saying there were very bad elements. Of course, greed, greed. Most of the chiefs are greed. They greed in amongst us. Okay, destroyed us as a people.
No, because I read
So
some books too. The stuff that we were doing that make it very, very
yes,
easy for the
yes.
takeover,
You
and it was
know,
not pretty. You
right.
know,
I mean,
we
slavery. The chiefs contributed to slavery.
Yeah, but you
okay.
see, and the thing is, like, we like to pride in talking about, oh, they took our strong. Where did those strong people come from?
They didn't take all of them though,
No, no,
so let's
no,
not make
no. But
mistake.
no, the thing is, like, when we start claiming that, they took the able-bodied people. Where did they come from? They didn't come from the beaches where the castles and forts were. They came from the hinterland,
No,
right? Northern region, most of them, right? The northern regions.
yep.
Those were the people built, you know. And why did they take those? Because according to the people who were bringing them over to sell, they were inferior.
Yeah. All
It,
right.
it's it's
So
it's sad,
we
but
can.
what are
So
we
for
what,
me,
what are
I'm
we
all
going to do?
about 21st century. So I think Leslie's point was about when we were talking about how I think maybe Leslie can correct me when we were discussing about how winners get to uh, decide history and shape the
Call the
world.
shots. Yeah.
Or the shot, we lost. Our ancestors as great as where they lost, and when they lost, I don't care what the reason is. The world, the people that won, set up for a world that we all living in until we have some sense and say we must compete. China has carved its way into the world by just competing, by just competing.
Hmm.
And so we have to, at a certain point, decide we have to compete and claim a chunk of the world to ourselves. That's the only way. And when somebody has foot on his leg, on your neck, and is determined to put his foot on your neck, you have to find a ways to deal with it because saying please take my foot off the neck is not going to work. So, do you have any idea what will happen in the world's economy if Africa unites? The question: if in that unification, is it even possible?
We
I
saw it.
don't think so.
We saw it during Nkrumah's attempt, right?
It's not going to happen. You can't even unite two villages together.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
we can't even no. What do you mean two villages? We can't even have co-op farming in one village.
Hmm.
Maybe a better generation we gonna have. Maybe when we
No,
go on 2,000 years,
no, Tony.
our
I think
descendants will be better versions of ourselves.
No,
I
but
hope
but but here but
I
here's
hope
the
no.
thing. Why should all black people unite? I mean, first of all, let's kill that question why should we all unite? Who told you Europeans are all united?
No.
No, they
I
are
think no.
united. They are
I think
united. They are
No,
united in this. No,
no,
they are
let,
united in this. United in this,
no.
Eric. I'll bring you in. Let me
mm,
tell you, it's funny. The Europeans are united in one way, which is global dominance.
Mhm.
When it comes to maintaining the white supremacy structure, they are united. They will make a deal to maintain that power. But they will have these little fights. They're not like us. We fight, we kill everybody on that side. They'll have these fights. But when it comes to maintaining the status quo, how the world is run to create a financial systems that the benefit is unequivocal. They are united. They are completely united. They don't want any other group to control the world. We fight over all kinds of stuff that is not even doesn't even matter.
So can we agree that we have a consensus that when the Europeans meet, their sole objective is a racist objective?
I don't think it's
100%.
no
What
I wouldn't no
what do you mean their sole objective
I
is
wouldn't
what?
call it that, right? What they
No,
want to
no.
do.
If
No,
you
I don't.
say if you
eh,
Yeah,
say they are united
okay,
and
yeah.
their sole objective is global dominance, and
okay.
so then the global dominance is over black people. Is that what it is?
Well, are blacks the only
No,
other people apart from
no,
Europeans?
no. The global dominant is not just black. Everybody else.
That's what
Do
I'm
you
saying, right?
know?
Like
Do you know
we
the
have Asians too,
Europeans?
right?
Yeah. Do you know the
No,
Europeans,
no, that's what I got
including
from
the
Tony.
Americans?
It's
No,
like
no. Yeah, no,
it's
no,
like
no.
I'm
It's
saying I'm
true.
saying that I'm
Now, I'll
saying
give you
that
an example.
Europeans are
I'll give you
not.
an example. I'll give you an
Uh-huh.
example. The Europeans and Americans share technology among each other than any other non-white. That's a fact.
But but
That's a
what are you
fact.
going to share? What are you going to share with Africans? I
What do
mean,
you mean? Who's going to
what
share
are you
with
going to
Africa?
share? We have nothing. Okay, so let's say Europeans have
They
a
were
bull.
not. Mhm.
Wait. Europeans have a bull sharing technology. Americans have a bull sharing tech. Do you know what is in our bowl? It's full. We don't have technology to share.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
We
Look,
don't even have it.
Serious.
look, look. Let's turn this into a positive, right? Let's
No,
turn this into
seriously.
a positive. No, no, no,
They're
no,
talking
no.
about
Yeah,
technology.
Then I,
We
what
no,
did
have
no,
you
no.
eat
no
today?
technology to
Fufu,
share.
in this bowl.
All right, let's move
Fufu.
on.
But, before we
Eto,
move on,
Eto.
right? You see, Tony, you mentioned something about China being a player in the world right now, right?
Mhm.
Africa has an opportunity to be China plus plus
Yep.
Mhm.
if we can do it. But will we? The
Hey,
reason why I
Tony.
say is this: Africa right now has more of future labor or future workers, youth, than any other continent.
You see,
Yep.
So if
those
we can
things
if
there,
if we can take that
those
to our
things there,
advantage,
Eric, those things there, the able-bodied thing that we've been talking about, the world's number one young. You, let me tell you something.
Go ahead. Tell us.
I don't. In my job, okay, I meet a lot of people, a lot of young people from different countries, and the when you look at the physique of young men from, let's say, South America, you look at the physique of young men from Africa. You look at the vital signs of young men from Africa. It's not young men, 20s. Look, it's pathetic. It, you see, our system is so horrible to the point where you have young men with high blood pressure. I'm talking about 150 over one something. You know what I'm saying? You check the blood pressure of somebody from South America, which is also a poor country, and you get 105 over 87. I'm saying that even our healthcare system, the food we eat, you see, that deplorable condition that we consistently, put ourselves in affects us as a people. So you're talking about hundreds and thousands or millions of young men. What is the life expectancy? These people
that's
die
what
at 30.
that's what I'm saying. If we could take advantage of it, are we going to? I don't think so.
Ima,
No, I'm saying that
I
we
want you to
our,
take this
our
Yeah.
our
question.
healthcare system even doesn't favor us. A lot of young people die at 30 because
Okay.
of deplorable conditions.
No, but the
Okay.
YouTubers are saying the country is nice. Everything's good. You might take
So
this.
this is what
And then,
I was gonna say before I take this,
okay.
Tony. Yeah, right. So let's understand this, yeah, and this is what I have come to, not to beat myself to death, because it's not gonna change. Let's understand that from the inception of the creation of this world, if somebody created it at all, right, it was a battle and the survival of the fittest. We have been defeated 1,000 years ago. All we got to
Mhm.
do now is come to the realization that we got to only move on. We can't go back. So, literally speaking, going back to the ancestral thing, how deep are you going to go back? You don't even know the roots back. We were captured, blindfolded, and brought here. So we can't just pick up and say we are going back. Now, my thing is, we have come so far, so close. How can we reinvent the wheel and pull some shots at our level to carry on? So this is the
Mhm.
thing. I'm not going to leave everything else that is
Great
making
points.
my life a little bit comfortable and say I'm going to go back to dig some history that cannot catapult me to be at par with my colleagues in this 21st century. That is just a defeat upon defeat. So that's my take on it. All these GMOs we are eating is not good for our system, and that will kill us. And that is part of the fight. If you don't like it, go and plant your own food. And you don't need to go back to Africa to plant your own food. You can plant it anywhere as long as you got the resources. So that's my on that one, on that last question, anyways. Now, would electing an African leader who wants to revisit the ancestral ways of life impact solutions for the modern world? Now, so I have a problem with the question. So impartation can be two ways, whether
Mhm.
negative or positive. But I assume we're looking at the positivity, isn't it? Fine.
Yeah.
So it all boils down to your values. Just the fact that we electing an African leader who we think we want to revisit some ancestral way of life. Then again, it comes to what our lady Ajia said. How far can he really be borrowed the time to go back and grab it and then fast forward come and implement it in a positive way to positively impact the modern world? If it can be done that way, then we should all rally around to elect myself because I can pull the shots.
You're
That's
gonna
But
change.
right.
You're gonna change the constitution so it could be
Fire! Shots fired!
a lifetime president, right?
exactly. But this is the problem. The African has been put into a mental state of poverty till eternity.
Yeah.
So until we get to understand that we can only move forward with what we got and protect it, selecting or electing that leader will only fail. Let me give you a scenario. All of the African leaders, not without one, has have had some sort of foreign education.
Mhm.
But when they go back and sit on that seat of presidency, man,
Good point.
what happens? What are we seeing? Were they not elected by the same people that had the belief that you can go back and reinvent the wheels? So this is the thing, is the mentality of the people, for the people, by the people. We are talking nice here, trying to bring
Great
the
points.
knowledge we think we have to the world and to also analyze what we can do to better our lives going forward. Obviously, we ain't going back, but I guarantee you, some of us, when we get the opportunity to become presidents, we will be worse off leaders than who we are talking about ourselves now.
Shots
So
Why do you
fired!
what is going to
Shots
happen?
fired!
why do you say that
Shots
though?
I keep coming. Why? I say that because there is no way you can have enough, okay, for the hungry man. A hungry man is an angry man. You have been made hungry from generations. So it will only take a person who has a mental state of plenty to be able to selflessly propel the other mass into victory. So until we can accept that we are not poor, though we have been enslaved, we still
Good point.
have the power to move and cross that line. Trust me, no matter where you are, when you are put onto that seat of leadership, when you are put into the position of presidency, you are bound to go back and corrupt yourself and corrupt the people and leave them with nothing.
Mm.
Great points.
That's why I want to be the interior minister.
Why?
Yehovah.
Huh?
What's your reason, Tony?
I control the security forces.
Fire shots.
Border control.
Which of them?
All
Which
this,
of the, which of the borders?
all the security forces will be under me. Ajia, what do you think? So if
Yehovah.
It
we
really
elect,
like
okay.
it really hurts me when I heard that we can never do it. We can never be we can never bring change because I'm really hoping maybe not in this lifetime, maybe someday our kids, our grandkids will really see this
Good point.
and say enough is enough, and know what we have and know what we have and know what they would do. And like I know that this happened before. Nkrumah tried to bring Africa together and it didn't happen. I know that, but I think that's the only way too. We have to, the leaders have to come together and know who we are and know what Africa is and know what Africa have and know what Africa can do to the world. I think it's part of the white man's mentality to put Africa down, because if Africa come together,
No,
if Africa come together, Africa will rule the world.
the white man has not
Great
done anything.
point.
The
And
white man only takes what he
it's
can.
part of the colonization.
No,
It's
at this
part of the
point,
colonization
at this
to put
point, the
that
blame is ours. The blame. Let's take the blame. Let's
we,
put it
we
on
will take,
ourselves.
yes,
We
yes.
are our own
I
enemies.
kind of support what Nana Yao is saying.
Oh yeah.
As we speak now,
leave the white man
all
alone.
6 of us, all 6 of us
Nana,
now
you know
on
what?
this platform.
The white man colonized our brain that we are Africa,
Look,
we cannot
That's
do
those
it.
who did the
That
colonization
is
are gone.
that's the
Those
problem.
who
But
did,
if we can
but did
uncolonize our mind to
wait.
know that this is us, this is Africa, we can
Do you
do
know
it.
even the
And
colonization,
the
right?
leaders need to come together and say that yes, we can do it and kick
Shots fired! Shots fired!
everything that a white man said. We need to uncolonize our thinking. We're still thinking
We
like
are
a
on autopilot.
It is us.
we just need to
It is us. All that you're saying is us.
Great points.
It's our problem. It's our problem.
So,
It's us.
I'm just hoping sometimes
We are the ones. We are the ones who build a city of hospitals and leave it in the bush. White man, white man left you to tell you to do that.
the legend.
you know what no,
We are the ones.
because we learn to
We
live,
build our
we learn
communities
to
and we
live,
don't pave the road. We are the ones. At this point,
we learn to be
at this
that
point,
selfish from white
at this
man.
point, leave the white man
We learn
alone.
to be
Leave the white man
Okay,
we
alone.
learn to be
let me build it from Hajia to Nanaya. This is what Hajia is saying. Hajia is saying that the damage from slavery, colonialism, and everything has put a lot of black people on autopilot. True. Onto self-destruction. Nana is saying that it's about time we deal with personal responsibilities.
That's it.
Right? We can,
Yeah.
and someday we'll deal about slavery. I don't talk about slavery because I was never a slave. And even if my parents were slaves, that's not me. And those people, the conditions they lived under was so harsh, better than we had. This is the best black people have had it under any system that goes about 400 years. This is the best. At least you can move, you can even read, you can go to school. There's things you can do. So I think at a certain point is going to be excuse. This racism thing, at a certain point, is not going to cut it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if, like the Naya said, if we're building hospitals in the bush, that is just a sick individual. Okay, because if we think that our black experience was so damaging that we can't do anything progressive, anything benefit, kill yourself. Okay, if we have no use to being able to do the basic things, there's no reason why we should live in this world. Nobody leaves Earth
Mm.
unscathed. Things gonna happen to you. Whether it's your fault, it's not gonna be your fault. But when you wake up every day, you make a decision and say, listen, I can control certain things that I need to do.
Mm.
We can't like same way we can blame our parents. You become an adult. If it happened, it happened. If you need therapy, get therapy. But at certain points, you gotta look yourself in the mirror and say, man, we're doing worse than to us. Right now, the stuff that's going to the African continent is all black people doing it.
Yeah.
Because the Europeans don't even have to do anything anymore. We are doing the job so well, they are surprised.
You know,
We
the British Prime Minister has no presidential jet, and yet Akufo-Addo, as we speak, is looking to buy a new presidential jet.
All right, let's
Man,
move
you're
to
talking about what? Presidential jet. Man is living in a flat. You know what
all
I'm
right.
saying?
This question.
Man is living in
Now,
a flat.
Eric, start with this. Eric, you
Mm.
have to choose which direction should we go? Ancestor days or compete in the modern world? So you are president in Ghana. How are you moving the country? Backwards or forward?
Raffia skirt.
Hey, Radit.
We're going forward, man.
Hey, Tracy Raffia.
Raffia skirt. you know, man, come on, man. There's only one way, man. Like
Same old.
the competition is not going to wait for you to go revisit what used to be, right?
Mm.
While you revisit, reminisce,
Good
and
point.
then come back with goodies to come and join the race. They're not waiting for you, they're going. So we
Mm.
need to always try to be as abreast as we can. I know it's difficult, right? Because like they have the lead, right? They've always have had the lead, right? At least in our lifetimes, right? Because since we're talking about ancestral, right? They've had the lead for as long as any of us on this platform has been alive. We've always been, I don't even want to call it secondary, but we've not been at their level. So the only way you compete in the modern world, right, is move things forward. When you start bringing, right, which step put yourself in a
Great
place where
points.
now people are like, oh, you know what, these people can play the game that we're playing, right? You become a part of the development system. But if you imagine, you say, oh, I'm president, and I'm like, you know, before the white man came, you know, we didn't have electricity, blah, blah, blah. So let's go back to that era. You think Twitter will be in Ghana right now? No, right? So the only way is forward, man, because
Good
the rest
point.
of the world is not going to wait for you while you go reminisce. It's not going to happen. The only way is forward.
What do you think, Iman?
Well, like I just said, if only we can borrow time. So it's just have to accept the fact that time waits for no man, and that is our world today. The world is racing, and everybody's just got to have to keep up the speed. So for me, the only way to win is focusing
Great points.
and move forward. And every winning person really doesn't care about what is past. They're looking forward and focusing is on what is coming forward and what are they gonna do to conquer that to get past it. So this is what, in my mind, we have to do. So if I had a choice, obviously the direction would be to cut out the weeds out of the space and make the plane flat so it'll be easy for running forward for all. Going back into ancestral time is when you have retired and you want to reminisce on the things that you have achieved on your line, on your
Good
line
point.
of success. I wouldn't want to go and relive some 2000 years ago, which is irrelevant, a lifestyle which is irrelevant in my today's life. So for
But
me,
you'll be
the only
one with
way, like
nature.
Eric said, well, nature, come on, nature can be
Great
created.
points.
And Tuntu Kao, she had
If
a
I buy a, if I buy a piece of land, whether in Europe or in Africa, and I grow trees and the greenery around me. I am with nature. I don't need to go to some Nanakanswabi who
Good point.
who had no idea about our 21st century today to relive his days. That is impossible. That is absurdity. You know, and we got told this and we're gripped with fear to this point, to this day and age. Some people still believe the things that their great grandfathers told
Great
them
points.
and would not whistle at night to even alert their dogs. Come on, wake up, guys.
You're gonna attract
Thanks.
snakes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I
Imagine,
say something?
And
imagine.
then after that, Ajia will go. Okay.
Okay. So let's be bold with this ancestral thing. Let's be bold and say some of our ancestors were not great. Okay. They were not great. Some of our chiefs and kings, some of our chiefs and kings,
I like that
kings
jingle,
and
man.
queens, kings and queens were not great people. I mean, some of these are traditional chiefs and kings. All they did was marry a lot of women and have a lot of kids.
Hey, you bet you waku.
You know, even the palaces they live in, when you see a chief palace, it's nothing to write home about. You know, you go to most of our villages, you see the state of the village and the environment, you realize that the people who lived in the past were horrible people. It's a fact. You go into our villages, you're going to see monuments. You see bridges, you're going to see castles, you're going to see national parks. Okay.
Okay.
So
Good point.
Masa, all they did about some and Kwasiasem.
Hey, but send me down a
You know?
drill.
So that is a fact. That is a fact. You know, so we have to be able to. We have to be these people that we call ancestors, man. I mean, we have to say somewhere great. We can name
Shots
them.
fired.
Those who are great, let's name them. But these are not people that we keep referring to and ancestors and ancestors. Tell it, what is then? I mean, you're not who see that. Are you not the first person? Are you not the first person who is building the house? You know,
no, your ancestry is town crier. Let's go back.
Know,
Great points.
So let's leave this thing. For us Africans, we understand. Okay, we understand because some of them were not great. They didn't live great lives. You know, if they really lived great lives, then where are their names and where are the books we can find them in? You know, the few that we know, the Nkrumahs, the Asantewans, let's name them. But let's not, wallow in past glory.
You didn't name the president's dad. Wow.
And I have this worry though. Sorry.
One more president, Papa
Yeah. So sorry to chip in this. Who invented that algorithm that people have been using to say I'm checking the ancestral tree? Who invented it? Kwesi Broni, right? How dare? How did that Kwesi Broni my great grandfather's root? Kwesi Broni no, their aim was to come and create loot and share. How the heck did he know my name Dankwa is linked to some Hausa people somewhere? Do you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, how will you prove those are even true though?
Yeah. I've always wondered that, right? I just don't have the money to. I just don't have the money to waste. One of these days, I'll do it. And I'll watch them tell me that I'll watch them tell me that I'm 10%.
Send me the money. I can create your list.
I'm 10% Caucasian.
Eric, looking at you, you are some 10% Fulani. I'm telling you.
Ajia, what do you think?
You know, these people,
Emmanuel, I thought you were going to say Caucasian.
Yeah. Caucasian, man, to a dream.
Oh man.
Oh
Oh
boy.
God, man, this is crazy,
Um,
man.
Which so where are you going, Ajia? You going backwards?
I'm good. Forward. Compete, compete, compete. I want to tell our leaders that
Good
stop
point.
being a beggar of the world. Stop going around the world and begging for money.
In a private
Fufu,
jet.
fufu,
Eh?
Priorities
remember
Huh?
fufu?
twisted. Priorities twisted.
Let's stop
You
playing catch up. Stop playing catch up and
oh
start
man.
competing. We need to
The catch
start
up in the crowd and
competing. We
you
can
play for
do
some
it.
you.
We
You're
can
not
No,
do
playing
it.
even. You're not even playing
we're
catch
not
up.
playing catch up. We're going backwards.
Oh,
No, Haja, no,
Malogo.
to your point.
Yeah.
How do you go how do you go from saying, "Oh, I need money to work on this project," right? This development project. And then you say, I need to go and beg some people to come and invest in that project. But I'm going to get there by renting a jet because I want to be presidential.
Hmm.
How stupid is that?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but like, where's the sense in that?
It is.
These are
Yeah.
very weird times. These are very
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
times, man.
Yeah.
These are very weird
Hmm.
times.
So
Yes, sir.
what? Okay, what
You just
direction I
can't
want to go?
understand, man. You just can't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to go. I want to go backwards all the way and come around to 21st century. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
why
make. I'm gonna go all
is
the
it
way and come
is
back.
it a boomerang?
And
Hey,
so
Eric,
this is what I'll tell our people: let it go.
you
We are,
already made diagnosis, Tonio.
Eh,
well, let's stick to the topic, guys. We can do that after. So I think for our people, we should just let it go. Those glory days are over.
Yeah.
I used to be doesn't mean anything. Deal with the realities, compete, and make great and be great, and make the 21st century black people the dopest black people in the history of mankind. That is the challenge. No more excuses. No more all that other stuff. They're gonna cut it because for the first time in the world history, black people can disappear and the world will do just fine.
Fine.
That
For
is
the
that what
first
we're
time
all
in the
agreeing
world
on? I don't
history.
agree though. I don't agree.
For the first time, black people can go away,
No,
and the technology will work, medicine will work,
no,
communications will work, transportation
no,
will work,
no. I
uh,
disagree
I agree with Tony to
and
so
some
far.
extent. The Chinese people
and
know how to
and
grow
Where
coconut.
you mean
listen, it's
when you
not even
say
a
go
debate
away,
because
are we
unless
going
listen,
away with our natural resources?
listen, you didn't come up with the natural resources. You don't recreate. They are making new diamonds in the lab now. There's enough. All you ask, listen, they will thrive. They will create. They will create. Okay. So we claim these natural resources. Really, somebody's using his brain to build something. We are only claiming things that nature gave us. Once that are draining the way we are thinking. So if we disappear, even we take the
No,
continent with us.
we make this thing sound as if blacks were not behind any technology, and I don't like that.
No,
That's
that's
not true.
not.
It's
Listen,
not true that blacks. So we can't even make that analogy. It stops right there because blacks have been behind most of the technologies in the world.
No, I think what Tony is
Yes.
saying. No,
what 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 what,
what Tony is saying is
No,
this. What
he mentioned
no,
technology.
no, Tony
what?
said
Okay,
earlier.
okay.
Hold on,
Listen,
Tony.
listen.
Let me be your lawyer for a second. What Tony said earlier, before I don't know if it was before you joined, but Tony was saying that there was a time where the world couldn't do without blacks. Not anymore.
No,
Not
no,
anymore.
And see,
see that
this
falls
is what I'm. Listen,
that
listen.
argument
No, 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 no.
that
Nanaya,
no
no,
wait
Nanaya is trying to say. I didn't say
wait
black people's
let
contribution. I'm not talking about contribution. We say right now, go list the top 20 things that runs the world and see who's controlling each sector. Each
okay
sector.
okay but
What are you talking about?
that argument doesn't hold because
What?
If blacks
Medicine.
have been,
Medicine.
blacks,
Okay, let me give you
wait,
medicine.
wait,
Who controls
if
medicine? Who
blacks,
controls medicine?
wait, let me finish. If blacks have been behind the growth of something, all of a sudden you're saying that let's take them out and everything will go on. You understand what I'm saying? The
But
base.
Nanel,
This is not hard to understand.
Nanel, isn't China producing cocoa now?
No, listen. David, listen. So okay. Let's take it. Medicine. Are we leading the world? No. Tech. Are we leading the world? No. Exploration to other galaxies. Are we leading the world? No.
Why are you?
So
why are you
what I'm saying is that in everything that is vital. No, I'm asking you. Okay, name me one thing.
You answered it all yourself. You answered it all yourself.
Name me one thing. Name me one thing. Even now, even America right now.
How can you ask your own questions and answer them?
Okay,
and answer them. No, that is
even
not
America
fair.
right now. Even America right now, it used to be the jobs that black people would do. Now you have other
Let's
groups.
not come here with a big brush and paint things like that. It's not
okay.
Really,
name me two things that is the world needs for survival that black people control.
Let's come another show and come and name things that black people did, and then name things that white people did. Let's do that.
And you're white. It's not black and white. It's not just black and white.
Let's do another show like that.
We don't control anything. I put money on it.
I accept that.
Blacks are controlling a lot of things in this world. Blacks are controlling a lot of things in this world.
Do not control any industry. What I mean, control any industry is that.
It's not true.
Which name me one. I can give you 10 in my head.
I'm saying that next week. Let's do a show on that. Next week, let's do a show on that.
Yeah. All right.
That's fine. We can do a show on that.
We can do that.
I'm not going to buy that analogy. No.
Oh, it's fact, man. It's fact. I look at the data all the time, man. If your planes, you can't be built a plane. Airplane tag, airplane tag.
Let's fade the fact, though, Nana. We are doing some good, but we are not calling the shots. Simple.
Nothing. We don't call the shot anyway. These are war.
Yeah.
Population. Facts.
Statement in Kodawai.
So we don't talk about resources. Just the resources, no. You don't own. You can't say that nature gave you the resources. We're talking about human capital, ingenuity, and that's why I can say, "Oh, God will form." Nobody cares about that. We're talking about what your mind create, and you don't claim the resources.
No. Do you know what's funny? The first open heart surgery, was done by a black man. The black man was in the middle of it. He was not named.
That is not what we are talking about.
He was not named.
That's not what we are talking about. That's not what that is not what we are talking about.
If that's not what you're talking about, then what are you talking
listen
about?
to the question. I didn't say black people didn't have black people in certain industries didn't come up with maybe the fundamental basis to certain things.
Okay, then what are you saying?
Listen to the question. Listen to the question. Missy, when you look at all the things that are required for 21st century
when you use the word all,
let me finish the question.
You make a mistake.
Let me finish the question. Let me finish the question.
No.
Everything you are wearing right now
you're about to make mistakes.
Everything you are wearing right now, including the computer, was not built in Africa.
How do you know? How do you know, though?
Come on.
How do you know?
New York had to know if required also.
How do you know? Right. How do you know that the components of a computer?
That is my point. The point is that I'm not saying black people didn't have influences, even the space program.
That's what you mean. That's if you talk like that. That's what you mean.
But
that's
Tony,
not what I
said. That what is wearing is in New York.
That's not what I said. You can play with your head all your time.
No.
You can play with. I said the question. It's not contribution. It's not contribution. The question is not about contribution.
Okay,
it's not about contribution.
What do you want to say?
It's not about. Don't twist it. Listen very clearly. Comprehension. Listen to the question.
Build
the
and
question
control.
is right now in the world.
We're talking about
in the world
right
right now.
here, right?
Yeah, and can
Majority
contribution.
are blacks.
I say, Obi,
are
one
blacks
who are
the
one
people?
share Quran so a contribution. That's not what we're talking about. Yeah, we didn't talk about contribution. You
Hey,
see, right now in the world, today,
okay, say spare me free.
that's right. They see right now in the world
Shots
today,
fired.
there's no any industry B that is dominated predominantly by yen that the
That is
world
not factual,
cannot
though.
go. No.
That
Wait,
is not
then give me
factual,
one.
though.
Give me one.
That's not factual, though. Are you coming
Give me
back
one.
next week with all the information?
All
You
right,
said all.
guys.
I'm
Thanks
saying
for
that's not
listening.
factual.
Oh, see
No.
Kente. Okay, Kente. Okay, yeah, Kente will do. The Chinese are making one too and selling it back to us.
Yeah, I know. Like the
Yeah,
like the
even
like the
then
Tony,
drinks. I'll give you
Tony,
the Kente.
Tony, the Angela
Anna,
you're
if you were
the,
Victoria Street,
the,
how
the
£1,000.
Tony,
Kentia Yapam.
Yes.
Tony, the Angelina you are wearing cries from China.
Oh, that's it. Even this Kente way, we didn't even patent the Kente. National Club, yeah, patented. So that's what we're talking about. So the world, and you can listen, go look at the data out there, man. And India Kwajibusiano. And India Kwajibusiano. Because tomatoes cry yakra. Toothpick yakra. So we can tickle our nipples. We can tickle our nipples and say this. And I'm saying the world for the first time, all the black even economics are saying for the first time, the world can live because technology is making all kinds of things redundant.
Oh, yeah.
And we see the Haitians how they were beating them. When the Cubans come, did they beat them like that? The Mexicans came, did they beat them like that? They don't. The world don't need black people to function. You can say your resources, but we didn't create these resources.
No,
but
that's so
we can be replaced, Madame Fo. No industry we control. The world we need. No industry that we control.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I totally disagree with that.
Okay. And I'm saying, Mamba, Batakari.
Yeah,
I like Batakari. I have some.
I totally disagree with
that. Yes, we are contributing. We are contributing. But there's no one industry. Mama Kacho. Look at the data. Look at inventions. Who are making them now? Look at all the stuff that's coming.
On one, see a contributing. On one way, see we are not contributing. That's what I'm hearing.
No, Miss C.
No.
I was trying to understand this question.
Okay, we're looking at, say, for example, if say we are in dominance of, say, for example, producing gold. Yeah, Tony is trying to make a point like, okay, take away that dominancy. Will the world still spin? Will the world still survive?
It will spin.
And he's saying, yeah,
it will spin.
Yeah, we will survive because it's just a small portion.
Let's be serious. Let's be serious. We're making all these arguments. Let's be serious what we're saying, and let's know.
Yeah.
When the world should take away Chinese people, will the world survive?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. Will the world survive if we take away Chinese people?
Eventually, but
no. I'm asking a question. Yes or no?
No, it's not.
Because you categorically said that the world will not survive if we should take away black people. And I'm saying that will the world survive?
No, I didn't say. No, I said the world. I said the world would.
Yeah, will the world survive if we take away Chinese people?
The adjustment they will make. You can't ask the question.
You didn't answer me.
Answer it.
You still haven't answered me. You're saying that the world will be okay without black people.
Okay, this is basic economics. Basic economics. When you take away the second world largest economy in the world, when it goes out now, the world will crash. That's the basic economics.
Let me tell you something.
That's the basic economic, just on economic alone.
No, Tony, if you're not yelling at each other here, I'm making a
Hey,
let me also make this point. Let me also can I make this point? Tony, don't bulldoze me. Let me make a point. Let me tell you this. The world will be fine. The world will be fine without Chinese people. I'll tell you that.
And Mibusa say.
So the argument of saying the world will be fine without black people. No, it's neither here nor there.
So
the world will be fine without Chinese people. Yes.
Okay, Nanaya, what?
Meanwhile, so
ask me why. Ask me why.
Including glasses here.
Yeah, I'm asking now.
Wait. China.
Your boxes.
Tony.
Everything you are wearing from there.
Tony, allow.
allow me
Sonny,
to say
allow.
that. Let me tell you
All
the
right,
reason
we're
why
keeping
the
it too
world
long,
is
Go
man.
defined.
ahead,
5 minutes.
Nana.
Let me.
Go ahead.
What
Yeah,
human
go
beings
ahead.
do adapt. We as human beings, we do adapt. Take away Chinese, take away white people, and leave black people on this earth. Black people will adapt. So that argument is absolutely is nonsensical. It's
But
nonsense.
you are no, but you are contradicting yourself. You are
No,
saying
I'm
these
not
groups.
contradicting
Wait,
myself.
wait, wait,
You
wait.
are
You
bringing
said
this argument
no, no,
that
no, no. Wait,
you
wait,
are
chill.
bringing this
Okay.
argument. Say, will the
No, no.
world be
Listen,
okay?
listen, listen.
Will
No,
the
listen,
world be
listen.
okay? Who will the world be okay without
No,
black people?
listen. Okay.
Yes, the world will be
They
okay.
they
Will
be
the world
pushing
be
here
okay
to me.
without Chinese
No,
people?
you
Yes, the
change your
world will be
tone.
okay.
No, you change your tone. You
No,
said
no, no,
that
no.
the world will not be fine with black people, but the world will be fine with Chinese. Fine. If the world can do it without Chinese, you agree, sir, the world will adjust. The world cannot do it, other white
Let me tell
people
you
will
something.
adjust. Now,
That's
to two
what I'm
for
trying
the
to say.
to me adjust, madam.
That is what I'm trying to tell you, say.
All
You see,
right,
some of
guys.
these things that we say, I was